This goddamn yellow one. This so inspired. Not being paid enough to do this bullshit. Not being paid enough. Especially on my birthday. Do I get birthday fucking bonus? No. Because Sage won't allow it. I'm getting really sick and tired of just Sage being the piece of shit that he is. Handcuffing me for fucking muffler money, and I'm just sick of it. It's no wonder Tommy Callahan and Tyler Brett's none of the fucking business. Let's be professional. Asshole. Fucking look at that piece of shit comment, and they have to like fucking act nice and happy to him. Just can't fucking do it. This guy anymore. Just fucking feel me again. I think he's the serial killer too. I can't prove it. It's more like Notto parts, if you ask me, because they don't sell good parts. Fucking Tommy Callahan's Notto parts because they're out of commission. Fucking bunch of fucking jagoffs. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Thundercloud, where everything is peaceful and calm right now. Just a nice, warm, happy, ha ha ha. If you don't know what movie that's from, it's fucking Zoolander, okay? It's Mugatu. Now please shut the fuck up and let the goddamn doctor go to work here, because I'm a goddamn surgeon. Let's take a look at the comments before we get started. We do have a trade to go over with the Green Bay Packers, which has Sage infuriated. Sage says, a 12:40 stream. You're lucky you're coming off a birthday, or you would have felt the fucking pain. Okay, I'm being threatened on my birthday, because it's still my birthday, because I'm going by British Columbia time. So it's actually 9:44 right now. Do not talk about my auto parts shop. Well, I didn't know I was talking about your auto parts shop, seeing as they've been decommissioned. We've got a Laughing Whale, not the Laughing Whale coffee that is in Lunenburg. And then you got Sage being a piece of shit, saying I should drive down and kick the shit out of you. It's in writing. It's now in verbalization form too, that I have been threatened by Sage. He has threatened to come down with a muffler and an exhaust pipe and hit me where the sun doesn't shine, before hitting me across the fucking chin. You heard it here first. But let's get right to the brass taxes over here, okay? Okay, we got another comment. Okay, love these comments. I've called the police already. The police are gonna be here during the stream. I just swatted myself. Do you know how genius that is? Oh wait, it's probably not the smartest idea in the world. I probably should have. Yeah, I didn't think that one over. You're going to invade my home like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, I've got enough evidence to get out of this if I need to. If need be, I'll be alright in the court of law. Because, like, you're coming in here and giving me Stone Cold Stunners in my own fucking home? Like, that's not cool. And that's not happening. Not on my watch. Never. Never, ever, even if there's a fire, will that happen. Sage, you've been disruptive enough tonight. You have absolutely just fucking tarnished this fucking stream. God damn it, Sage. First things first. Kenny Moore of the Indianapolis Colts has requested a trade, and he will be granted a trade according to my reports. I don't give my sources up. I'm not going to tell you that I read this while I was on the shitter reading Roto World, but Kenny Moore is going to be traded. And that's that. Now, Kenny Moore apparently has no guaranteed money on a 2-year contract. It looks more like a 1-year contract to me when I look at Spotrac, because we're in 2026. 2027 is a void year where he becomes a UFA. So I guess he's looking to get paid. He is a slot corner, so he's not coming to Green Bay. We've got Javon Bullard, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need Kenny Moore. But for a team that is looking for a slot corner, this would be one to pick up. It's not a cornerback that I would pay a lot for, and I'm not saying that's because Kenny Moore's a bad player. I like Kenny Moore. I've had him in fantasy before, but he's just not worth it at this point in time. He's going to be 31 in 2026 season, and what do you got? What do you got left in him? 2-3 years tops, 2 or 3 years tops. Bullard is great. There's no need to say that Bullard sucks, because Bullard is very good. Tom Brady considers him one of the best in the league. Okay, the second GOAT considers him the best in the league. Not best, one of the best. Okay, Scrambles is gonna watch while I get stunned. Wow, that's quite a thing to put into a baby cat's brain when they're still developing. I wouldn't do that. That's PTSD all over it. But I'll ask you, Sage, before I get to the real trade that I want to go over. What do you think the value is on a cornerback who has 1 year left in his contract, is looking for a contract extension, probably I would say 2 or 3 years, probably at the price point of what? Maybe 13 a year, 12, well, let's just say 10 to 13 a year probably. Is that a price point? Because, I mean, he could get more. I mean, Nate Hobbs got, what, $12 million a year, so he could potentially be, like, above that. I wouldn't. I would say fifth is, like, your absolute best that you're going to get for him. I would. And again, if you need a slot corner, why not give up a 6th or a 7th? Give him a deal if you got a little bit of cap space. I've got no problem with it. It's just not going to happen for the Packers. So anyone who's a Packers fan that wants him, it doesn't make sense. You don't carry 2 slot corners that are, like, one's barely going to... Fuck it, Sage! You fucking playing at Anthrax and my fucking Alexander Keiths again. You fucking son of a bitch. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. It was the goddamn Anthrax talking. Oh! I swear to God, cats, don't. D-O-N-T with an apostrophe. Don't fucking don't fucking fuck with me right now. Alright. Now let's get to the trade that actually matters. That trade being the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles coming to a trade today. A trade in which I think both teams win. Both teams get a need. And that's how real trades work in the real fucking world. Both teams usually win. Both teams usually win, in my opinion. So, the Green Bay Packers trade wide receiver Dontayvion Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 2025 5th-round pick and a 2027 6th-round pick. Now, what does this mean for both teams? Well, I do know that the Eagles have been busy adding depth at wide receiver. Dontayvion Wicks is not only depth that's being added, but he's probably their 3 receiver at the very least. If the season was to start today, you'd have, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dontayvion Wicks as your 3 receivers, which I think would be great, to be honest. And I really think that wouldn't be a bad move, especially with what the St. Louis Rams are probably going to do by, probably drafting a wide receiver in the 1st round is my guess for the St. Louis Rams. But you've got recent additions called Hollywood Brown. I don't think he's that good anymore. He's a good depth piece. Elijah Moore, I think he's a good depth piece for the slot. So they do have 5 really good receivers right away that we kind of can look at and say, okay, does this mean the end of A.J. Brown? Well, I can tell you A.J. Brown is not going to be traded until after June 1st. So there will be absolutely no A.J. Brown movement until after the 2026 NFL Draft. Now, if I'm Philly, I'd need to know a little bit more about Philly and what they plan to do in order to say whether he's going to be back or not. He's certainly rumored to be traded, A.J. Brown. I'm not sure what teams are going to have the money to stomach him, but there's always ways to make cap room, that's for sure. Um, I just don't know. I think, okay, yeah, A.J. Brown, getting rid of A.J. Brown, the one good thing it's going to give you is a bit of financial flexibility. I think they really probably do want to keep Jalen Carter. Are they able to keep Jalen Carter without trading A.J. Brown? Probably, but is it going to hamstring a bunch of other moves? Absolutely. So I would say that that's one of the pros to trading A.J. Brown. But what's one of the cons? I mean, you're getting rid of one of the best receivers in the game. Now, maybe you're getting rid of him at the right time, the right age, that sort of thing, and you can replenish, but you're not going to get a pick in this year's draft. Absolutely. Um, you're absolutely not going to get anything that's going to help you this year. So I'm not sure. I'll ask chat here and see what they think. Is AJ Brown going to remain with the Philadelphia Eagles this year? I I think it could go either way. I think I'm right on the fence about this, to be honest, because I can see both merits. Um, you could probably extend Jalen Carter and then just trade him next offseason when he's a year older, in my opinion. I think that they would. I'm leaning slightly towards them keeping him, in my opinion, because I think the longer we wait, to absorb a contract of 23, it's what, $23 million plus probably more. It's quite a bit. So glad to see that Sage is also on the fence. It's not an easy decision. I get that they've added a lot of wide receiver depth, but I mean, if you've got legitimately AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dontayvion Wicks, I think you've got a hell of a trio there. And then you've got depth. You've got Elijah Moore and Hollywood Brown. And I think they're better used as depth. I think if you start getting into Dontayvion Wicks and using him as a 2 receiver, I'm not sure that'll pan. I think he's your perfect number 3. Last year he was kind of buried a little bit. Dontayvion Wicks, we kind of went over his stats previously. 581 yards his first year, 415 his second, 332 in his third year. I think there is a world in which he could be a good, a decent 2 receiver. I think he's just not to be 100% trusted right now. I'd rather him be my 3 than my 2. Because, what happens if you get rid of A.J. Brown and then you've got Devontae Smith sustaining an injury, and then Dontayvion Wicks becomes your number 1 and Hollywood Brown's your number 2. To me, that has disaster written all over it. Now, we don't know what they're going to do in the draft. They could potentially do something in the draft that completely changes the landscape. I'm just saying, as it currently stands, I think the Eagles are more likely to keep A.J. Brown than not, in my opinion. Sage says, the Platinum Shield Wrench says, I would hold out if I'm AJ. I refuse to play for Hurts any longer. Well, that is a good point that you bring up. If Philadelphia really has a second round grade, to trade Tanner McGee, they believe he's worth a second rounder. Okay, that's cool, right? But if you actually believe that, why wouldn't you trade Jalen Hurts, who is going to probably fetch you at least a first, maybe a second, etc.? He's going to get you a pretty damn good package. And to me, Jalen Hurts isn't a great quarterback. So if you really trust this Tanner McGee, why don't you free up a bunch of money and keep A.J. Brown, be able to extend Jalen Carter, be able to bring in some draft capital, and just kind of do it that way? Now, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying, if you really believe that this guy's worth a second round pick, Jalen Hurts isn't that good of a quarterback. Let's face it. He's middle of the pack. He's extremely replaceable. And he's making, I think, $50 or $55 million per year, something like that. Something similar to what Jordan Love is making, and he's not near as good a quarterback, if you ask me. So I don't know if I'm Philly and I really believe it. I think it's a good question to ask. Like, explore that stuff, but they're not going to do it. It's just maybe I'm just taking a shot at them for their what they're saying Tanner McGee is worth. Now, from a Green Bay perspective, they're subtracting. We lost Romeo Doubs this offseason to free agency, I believe, to the New England Patriots. We also lost, of course, Dontayvion Wicks to trade. So where does that leave the Green Bay Packers? Well, it leaves you with Christian Watson and Matthew Golden on the outside, Jaden Reed playing the slot. That's if nobody gets injured. So, if nobody gets injured, that's your big three. You also have Tucker Kraft, tight end, playing. The only problem is, Jaden Reed missed some time last year. Christian Watson has only ever played 70% of the snaps in his career. So there's going to be an injury. Now, last year, luckily, they took Savion Williams in the third round, and they probably think that that's their number 4 receiver. And the other problem is you had Dontayvion Wicks, who was blocking out Matthew Golden a little bit. So now it opens up Golden for a lot more, targets this year, and it's certainly going to help him in fantasy. Now, beyond that, you've got, Sky Moore, who's going to play special teams or get cut. Bo Melton, who's really special teams, are going to get cut. Will Shepard, probably going to be a practice squad player. Isaiah Nayer and Jacoby Keeney-James. Those are practice squad players all the way. So I can guarantee you, because I know how the Packers work, they are going to draft a wide receiver in this year's draft. I wouldn't necessarily think it would be early on, but the only guy that you have under contract for next year that is any good, most likely, is Matthew Golden, first-round pick from last year, and Savion Williams, who we don't really know who he is yet. Both Jaden Reed and Christian Watson are slated to be free agents next year. Christian Watson's price tag is going to be through the roof because of what Alec Pierce got paid. Jaden Reed's going to be a pretty penny as well because of the fuck that Tennessee signed. I forget his name now. So, yeah, the Packers, I think, did the right thing. They knew that they weren't going to be able to sign Dontayvion Wicks, and they took a 5th-round pick. They turned it into a 5th-round pick this year and a 6th-round pick next year, which is an even deeper class. Kind of similar is Romeo Doubs. We let him walk, and basically what happened to Romeo Doubs? Well, Romeo Doubs was a 4th-round pick who became a 4th-round pick in the compensatory round next year. So I think it's good business for the Packers. They're always looking long-term. They're not going to hamstring themselves. So I think it's a good move for the Packers, and I think it's also a good move for the Eagles, who extended Dontayvion Wicks to a 1-year, $12.5 million extension. So they'll get him this year while his rookie contract expires, and then they'll get him the year after for 1 year's $12.5. So that's why trades are good sometimes for both sides. Teams or fans sometimes are mad when basically, I don't know, they don't rip the other team off. Well, these teams aren't here to get ripped off. That's just not the way it works. It has been, I'm going to just take a quick peek at the comments, see if there's anything important. Sage says, I'll stop you right there, mate. Packers aren't getting A.J. Brown. Next topic. Nope, the Packers will not be getting A.J. Brown, so you did hear it here first. It's been quite a off-season for the Packers. Now, Nate Hobbs never really played last year. He got cut. Elgton Jenkins played at center last year, formerly a pretty good guard. He got cut. Rashawn Gary, Colby Wooden, and Dontayvion Wicks got traded. Guys that we just let go, Romeo Doubs, Rasheed Walker, Quay Walker, and Kingsley Engabare. So there is a bit of a facelift being made here, and I like that. Okay, yeah, we don't have a first-round pick this year. We don't have a first-round pick next year, but what do we have this year? We've got 8 picks in the draft, which, okay, I'm okay with that. In the 2027 draft, which is considered an extremely deep draft, we do have 11 picks so far. So, again, No first, but next year, I'm talking 2027. This has been pretty damn good. You got a second round pick, a third round pick. I believe you're getting a fourth round compensation for Malik Willis. Rasheed Walker was supposed to get a third or a fourth. This idiot was actually offered $17 or $18 million per year by an anonymous team. I don't know who it was. He turned it down, thinking he would make more money. He wanted the contract that the Tennessee Titans gave out the year before, I believe, to Dan Moore, like $22 million a year, and he ended up falling face first in that. So basically, what happened was teams started giving all their money away after he declined that, and then he ended up settling for a 1-year, $10 million contract with the Carolina Panthers, which really fucked us because we could have got a fourth rounder for Walker. Instead, that is a sixth rounder. But what kind of makes up for that is Jerry Jones being senile at the age of 81 and giving us a fourth round pick for Rashawn Gary, who guaranteed was going to get fucking cut. Guaranteed was going to get cut. So we'll have a fourth rounder for Gary and then another, just our normal fourth rounder. I'm not sure if it's a fourth or a fifth for Quay Walker signing with Oakland. We do get a fourth rounder for Romeo Dobbs. Just our normal fifth rounder, a sixth for Wicks, and then a seventh. So we're in pretty good shape. I do expect, I'm going to tell you right now, I do have a feeling that one of our late round picks in either this year or next year's draft will be traded for Anthony Richardson. I know the Packers were in on Kirk Cousins before Oakland just extremely overpaid for him. They've been linked to Anthony Richardson all season. All off season. The other guy that they're kind of linked to is that guy in Tennessee that eats bananas. I forget his name. Who's the guy that eats bananas on your team? I forget his fucking name. He eats bananas with the skins on them. Will Levis, I think. I think it's Will Levis or Will Levis. We've been projected by some to potentially be interested in him for a late round pick. We have been. No, we have been for a late round pick. This is just what people are throwing out there on the podcast that I listen to, and they're pretty credible. Like, they're not just throwing shit at the wall, you know what I mean? It's just speculation at this point. We got Desmond Ridder right now. I have not seen the Packers once. Well, it would be a late round draft pick for him. Maybe they're just speculating because they're just kind of looking at what the Packers are looking for. So maybe you should start watching some Packers broadcasts and see what happens. It wouldn't surprise me if we traded for a fucking, not Malik Willis, but Will Levis. It wouldn't. I wouldn't really be for it, though. Yeah, but the Jets are... maybe. I'm not really concerned about Will Levis, if I'm being honest with you. I don't give a fuck about him. I like his... I think he's got some physical tools, though. I'm not going to lie. I think he does have some physical tools for sure. Oh, Levis isn't going to be a starter on any team at all, in my opinion. I don't think Levis can be a starter on any team. Even the Jets. If he is going to start on a team, though, it would be the Jets. But yeah, I don't think he'd be a starter. Does he actually beat Geno Smith if he's a Jet, though? I'm not necessarily certain that that's the case. I'm not. Will Levis is not a starting caliber quarterback in this league. And you know what? Geno Smith isn't, but Geno Smith has done it before. I would give Geno Smith the leg up in competition there. But yeah, the Jets, now that you mention it, makes sense. But I think the Jets are going to draft that, Oregon quarterback or Utah quarterback in the second round. So I would say it just depends what direction they want to go. They're directionless. They haven't been good in over fucking 50 or 60 years. So anything's possible with that shitty ass fucking franchise. They've made the playoffs twice in 25 years. They're terrible. I don't think. Well, I mean, I think I would take Will Levis over Geno, just because he's younger. Just because he's younger, it doesn't necessarily mean he's better. Doesn't necessarily mean he's better at all. In fact, he might be worse. He might be worse. But yeah, I would want to see what he could do, because, like, what? Geno Smith is, 35, 36 years old? 34 at best? You know what you got in him. Geno Smith is a one-year wonder. And that's all he is. I've seen Geno Smith his entire career. Well, he started with Buffalo or something? He started with Buffalo. No, I'm mixing him up with someone else. I'm mixing him up with E.J. Manuel. Started with the Jets. Then, he had one cup of tea that was good, and then he hasn't had one since then. So, yeah, I agree. I would do the same thing, but I'm not saying Will Levis is going to be a solid starter. I think Levis would be interesting for the Packers, though, because we do have connections to Tennessee. We have taken a Tennessee dud and made him into a somewhat stud. So I think if you're going to develop him and then trade him, it makes sense to put him in Green Bay, in my opinion. We will await a rebuttal, and then we will get to the Blue Jays news here. Sage, I never said Geno Smith was good. I said Geno Smith was crap when he won fucking Comeback Player of the Year. I don't know how you give Comeback Player of the Year to someone that never was any good. But that's, I don't know, neither here nor there. All right. It's quiet on the Western Front, the Eastern Front, and the Central Front. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the Blue Jays and how they did today. So it just seems whenever I'm listening to them in my car on the radio, they suck. They found themselves down very early today. It's 4-0 by the time I got home. And all I had done was drive to the grocery store and back. It wasn't too far of a trip. And they were at least down 3-0, because 3-0 was the first inning. I believe they were 4-0, and I put them on. And luckily, they were able to score 5 runs in the fourth inning, starting with Vladimir Guerrero, kind of starting the rally a little bit. And then I'm really liking this Jesus Sanchez guy. This Jesus Sanchez seems every time we're breaking down the box score, he's got not much going on. He's 1 for 4, very steady. He's doing pretty damn good. I think he hit the ball 112 miles an hour today, so pretty good exit velocity. But yeah, that fourth inning, scoring 5 runs, put the Jays out front. And then from there, they were able to tack on a few runs. And what was really nice is, despite Patrick Corbin not doing very well in his first start as a Blue Jay, going 4 innings pitched with 4 earned runs, only a mere 3 strikeouts and 6 hits allowed, we were able to preserve the bullpen a little bit. Because after that, everyone pitched shutouts. Thomas Nance, who I don't like. I don't like him. Thomas Nance went 2/3 of an inning, no earned runs. Joe Mantiply, don't like him either. 0 earned runs, struck out 3 in 1 inning of work. Louis Varland, my guy on my team, no earned runs in 1 1/3 inning with a strikeout and a walk. And then Braden Fisher, 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. So what I like about this is Ty Rogers and Jeff Hoffman get some much-needed rest. It's definitely going to help us out a bit. What was really nice was also on the offensive side of the ball to see some home runs. We did have 2 home runs. Brandon Valenzuela with a home run in the 4th inning. That's the first of his career, which obviously big deal for him. And then Varsho hitting a home run in the 5th inning off of former Blue Jay, former Pirate Anthony Banda, who was also formerly of the Dodgers. Bounces around quite a little bit. The rest of the box score is as follows. George Springer 1 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. Dalton Varsho 2 for 5 with a RBI. Vlad Guerrero, doing okay. 3 hits, an RBI. So pretty good day for him. Like I said, steady Eddie Jesus Sanchez 1 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. Straw 0 for 1. That's late in the game, doesn't matter. Okamoto with a rare game where he doesn't have a hit. Brings his OPS down a ton to 651. Davis Schneider had a big game. 2 for 3, hitting 1 off the wall. And also walked, had a couple of runs scored. So big day for him. Ernie Clement, decent game. 2 for 4 with an RBI. Don't like him as a starter. I'll say it right now. Andres Jimenez 1 for 3 with a RBI. So he's staying pretty. Andres Jimenez has been pretty good to start the year. And then Brandon Valenzuela 2 for 4 today, 2 runs scored, a home run. Culminating in a 10-4 win over the Twins. So it would be nice to sweep the series. I think tomorrow is going to be extremely hard to do. I do not know the pitching matchup. I do know that Joe Ryan is going for the Twins, and Joe Ryan is a son of a bitch to hit. Although I believe the Blue Jays have been pretty successful against him in the past, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Max Scherzer's going tomorrow, though. Let me just double check, see if that's true. It's an afternoon game, which I hate afternoon games. It was actually Eric Lauer going up against Joe Ryan. So, as much as I want the Jays to win, I do give the advantage to the Minnesota Twins. Let's hopefully win tomorrow, get to 500. If we don't, we need to get to 500 soon, and then get healthy. That's the goal. Get to 500, stay at 500, get healthy, and then just fucking wreck shit up. That's the way it is. If I was a coach, it'd be so simple. These guys would know exactly what they need to do. But obviously, John Schneider's a fucking idiot who looks like a fucking beat. Just gotta see if there's any other news before we get to the illustrious Pete Rose Bowl cut. Nah. Nobody gives a shit about Bijan Robinson having his fucking 5th-year option exercised for 2027 by the Atlanta Falcons. In fact, no one gives a shit about the Atlanta Falcons either. So we are going to go to the Pete Rose Bowl cut and just see what's going on. We're going to look at the scores because we are heading into the weekend. We're going to see if there's any interesting moves that were made. I need a sip of this coffee right now. I'm happy to say that since we last talked, there has been no scandals. There's also been no allegations of scandals that were false. Sage. So let's get right to it. So Alec Brom dropped by pitch please. Being added is Jordan Walker, who's been extremely hot. He is a failed prospect who used to be a number 1 or a number 3 overall prospect in baseball, so there is upside there. I'm actually interested to see his age. 23 years old, so you can't really give up on someone that's that age. I'm just curious to see. It's been a while since I've looked at Jordan Walker. I've had him on my team. Very, very terrible. Came up in 2023 and had a sparkling 787 OPS in 117 games played. Then fell to a 619 OPS in 2024. Then even worse, a 584 OPS in 2025. So far, 1,044 OPS in 13 games. The good news is he definitely does have no competition. There's no one blocking him out or anything like that. He's going to get licks every day. The only problem with him, in my opinion, is he any good? He's all over the place. I mean, we're talking a 276 batting average, a 201 batting average, a 215 batting average, a 313 batting average. Doesn't look like he's got super great on base skills. It's not like his slug is very good. I get add a player while he's hot, see if it sticks. I mean, there's no risk and there's high upside. I'm just not trusting it. But again, age isn't terrible, 23. Some guys don't even make it to the majors till they're, 24, 25, 26. We've got 3 up, 3 down, adding Joe Boyle, a starter from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Don't know much about this piece of shit. He's got a good age, though. He's 6'8". He was born in 1999, previous to Y2K. And his body of work shows me that he is an absolute dud, a 5 career ERA. So I'm not worried about it, even though he's the age of 26. Interesting move here. Mother has added Steven Matz and dropped Jorge Polanco, a very good little second baseman who's extremely inconsistent in his own right. And when I say inconsistent, I mean, let's look at his last. Let's include this year. Pretend that this year counts. It doesn't count, but let's just pretend it does. In 2023 with the Twins, 789 OPS, so that's pretty damn good. In 2024 with Seattle, had a 651 OPS. That's pretty garbage. In 2025, had a very good OPS. He actually won a championship on my team with an 821 OPS. And then, so far to start this year, a 564 OPS. Not a bad guy to take a flyer on if you need a second baseman. But this guy is all over the place. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Like, you can kind of look, okay, like, for another example, in 2020, 658 OPS. The year after, 826. Like, this guy is just jumping like mackerel in the fucking wind. So I don't know. Now, I'm interested to see. So Steven Matz will definitely get some holds. So I'm guessing that's why Mother made the move. I'm interested to see who her second baseman is, because if she's got a good second baseman, she's just trusting Brandon Lowe. I didn't know Brandon Lowe was playing in Pittsburgh this year. That's an interesting pickup for Pittsburgh, who looks like they're actually starting to spend a little bit of money to take care of business. I don't know why Julio Rodriguez is on her bench. I will certainly have to ask her the journalistic question that is that. It doesn't make sense if she's got Sedone Rafaela, who can play multiple positions. So, I mean, I'm not going to call that move suspect or anything like that. It's not a Mike Trout drop or anything like that. Jorge Polanco is a good little player. Very inconsistent, though. So if you've got a second baseman, you probably don't need him. But just an interesting drop. So we're going to take a quick peek at the comments before we get to the scores. The fine folks of the cloud don't care for Polanco. Well, I need to do a deep or a shallow dive into all these players. This is what we do. We are fantasy. In my mind, we created fantasy. We are pioneers in the realm of fantasy. No one does it better than the Pete Rose bowl cut. You can go to Hair Choice or Haircuts, whatever they're called. They're not going to do it as good as the fucking Pete Rose bowl cut, okay? Now, to close out, let's go over the scores as we are entering the final 2 days of this week. Yours truly, your humblest GOAT, greatest of all time, is up 8-7 against 3 up, 3 down. No surprise there. He did state, he being me, that he will not lose a single matchup this year. And if I, the GOAT, get through this matchup here, just know the fucking cavalry's coming and they're getting healthy. and we will throw spikes through your fucking necks, and we will wreck shit up. You do got the Brendan Little Dingers up 12-4 against Pitch Please, looking to take first place. All Over Your Ace is winning against the Long Balls 9-7. So if the scores were to remain, Dingers, the Little Dinger, would move into first place ahead of the Long Balls. And that's awesome team. Really bouncing back this week. Pounding the shit out of Nathan as if this is ground and pound. 11-5. Nathan's trying to use his little jiu-jitsu skills, but he's not able to. Because he's getting punched in the fucking trachea over and over and over and over and over again. Then finally, we've got the scrap that is between two sisters. 9-5 in favor of the Rally Cats against Blunt Force Trauma. So you've been brought up to speed. We'll do it again tomorrow. But for now, I need to see what the fuck Sage said. Well, we're moving on. We're moving on. As Marilyn Manson would say in, I believe, Sweet Dreams, which he copied from the Arithmetics. Moving on, that sort of thing. We're done, Sage. We're done. I've had enough of the attitude. I was a perfect journalist tonight. I broke everything spot on. You said I was going to say something that I never would say. I never said the Packers were going after A.J. Brown. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm a professional. I wake up in the morning and I fucking piss excellence. Do you understand who I am? Do you understand? Do you understand who the hell... Don't yap me. I'll slap thee if you keep coming at me. So that's enough. That's a final warning right there. I'm pointing my finger at you like I'm fucking Rafael Palmeiro. So don't. And I'll say it again. Don't you come to my chambers and try to sabotage me. Because I swear to God, Sage, I will put you in a triangle choke and then I will drag you into the fucking great big sea. Okay? Do you want that? I didn't think so. Okay? Alright. Let's get out of here. I don't need to be fucking threatening people on air. I'll do that off air. I can put you in a triangle choke, Sage. I'll put you in a guillotine. I'll put you in a fucking guillotine, motherfucker. Don't think that I fucking won't. I've headed up to here, You know what? And to think I was going to buy you a donair from Gander and have it mailed to you. Express shipping. Take 2 to 4 weeks. And, yeah, it's off the table. It's off the table. It's off the table. You can go to hell. It's over. Sage, how about I take a wrench to your elbow? You can take the donair. I'm not going to poison your donair. Mail him the mackerel. I'll send some mackerel and a donair. It's a peace treaty. It's not going to make you sick, okay? You'll be all right, bud. And then I'll take over first place. My precious. All right. That's it. We're out of here. Have a good night, guys, and see you tomorrow.